Tonight, I want to ask you guys a question. How do you fountain pen? It's also planner season, so I've got all these ideas of, like, oh my god, what am I going to buy from Hobonichi? Because I'm a Hobonichi girl, because I use fountain pens, because I journal, and that is the most fountain pen friendly, lovely paper that I have come across. Well, hello everyone, welcome. I'm Katie, and this is a Fountain Pen Awakening, and I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're doing super well. Tonight, I want to ask you guys a question. How do you fountain pen? Because in this community, we all come on and we share a new fountain pen day. We ink it up, we do a little bit of a transcript or like a writing sample. We get new inks. We do ink swatching. And then what we do is we get our dip pens and do a bit of a writing sample with our dip pens. We might say that we journal with our pens. We might say that we use them for planning. We might come back after a month and do a bit of an assessment of how that pen and ink combination went. But how do you actually enjoy your pens on the day to day? Like, how do you enjoy your fountain pens? How do you use them? What do you do with them? You know what I mean? And I think that most often we don't actually share that actual passion and joy and, I don't know, that thing that we love about our fountain pens and how we use them on the day to day for them to bring us joy. So in this video, what I'm going to show you is how I actually do my currently inked for myself. Not how I set it up to film, to share what my currently inked is with a community, but how I actually do it for me. Because, my currently ink changes daily because I might ink them up, not like an ink, get rid of the ink and ink another ink up. Or I might be writing with a pen and ink combination and I'm trying to hang in there to use a sample up, but I'm really not getting any joy with that pen and ink combo, and I get rid of it and then ink another. And then what I do is then I have to update what my currently inked is with the new inks. So, it's Saturday night. I'm having a bubbly. I've had a long week. I come home, I pour myself a glass, I sit at my desk, and first of all, if I've been working, what I'll do is I'll get my Hobonichi horn out and I will journal. And then I will fill in my weeks if I need to fill in my weeks. And then I'll decide, do I want to play with my pens to relax a little bit? So I put on, some nice music. I light some candles. I've got my diffuser with a bit of lavender to relax. And I sit at my desk and I start playing with my pens. Three things. I might do a currently inked. So I do like a rainbow of all my currently inked and do a bit of a writing thing, I play around. Or I can get my book, The Hobbit at the moment, and do, a transcript of that onto my Hobonichi notebook or Tomoe River paper, because that's kind of what I use. I use Tomoe River paper or I use Rhodia. And at the moment, what I've been having fun doing is in my Hobonichi horn, and which I use as a journal, not as a planner. And I don't know, most of you might be familiar with a Hobonichi, that the daily one where you fill out every day. The month has a different color. And so what I've been having fun doing is matching my pen and ink combination to the color of the month and challenging myself to write with one color for the whole month. Now, some months I have succeeded, but some months I haven't, and I have to use a different color because I like different color inks and I like using different pens with different colors, and I find it challenging to use the same color for a long time. So that's been fun and been challenging, but it's just made me appreciate the fact that I can make my journal look prettier when it's got like one color throughout the month instead of 5 or 6 different colors. That's how I fountain pen, guys. This is how I enjoy my fountain pens. And I go through phases, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's phases where I don't use them at all because I'm too exhausted or I can't be bothered or whatever. And then there's phases like now where I actually need to use my fountain pens as a way to relax when I come home after work, after a long day. It's also planner season. So I've got all these ideas of, like, oh my God, what am I going to buy from Hobonichi? Because I'm a Hobonichi girl, because I use fountain pens, because I journal, and that is the most fountain pen friendly, lovely paper that I have come across. And I like the format. I like the way the paper crinkles when it's inked up. And so at the moment, I'm just all really enthusiastic about my weeks and my journaling and trying to get my you know my things all filled up until I get my new ones when I order them on the 1st of September. Get excited, people. I'm excited. I know a lot of people are disappointed with Hobonichi at the moment because of the paper and because of the issues, but me, I only discovered Hobonichi a couple of years ago, so I don't go cray cray about the things. I just buy what I want to buy or what I need. And because it falls in September, I usually get away with it because it's my birthday in September and people give me money for my birthday. So I just use that money to go towards my Hobonichi order, and it's winning. So anyway, this video was about me wanting to share with you how I actually do my currently inked for myself. And so yeah, let's get to it. Happy Saturday. This is my horn and I think it's so pretty. Practically what I've been doing with this is I've been trying to be really good and do this thing where I do the same color all a month through, and I've been mostly successful. I have been mostly successful. So here I am sitting at my desk. I thought I'd show you a different angle from how I usually have the top down view. So come back in the evenings, I sit at my desk and I decide what I want to do. Usually I just journal if I've been at work all day, catch up on what's going on in the day. Sometimes I might have not journaled for a couple of days. Then I decide, do I want to sit here a little bit longer and play with my pens? Or do I want to do something artsy? Or do I just want to sit down and watch some YouTube content? So as you can see, I had started doing my currently inked after finishing my journaling, and then I decided, you know what, I'm going to film this. So I just set myself up now, and I'm doing a voiceover just because it's easier to do it that way. And when I do my currently inked for myself, I just like to do them in a rainbow sort of situation when I can, sticking to the colors for them to be, similar altogether, just because it makes it aesthetically pleasing to me. And this year, I think I want to be more mindful of doing things prettier. This is my 3rd year into fountain pens, and I'm starting really to enjoy the use of my pens more and using them as a tool for relaxation, and just trying to discover ways that I can use my fountain pens and make things look pretty, even if it's just like my ink journal, or even if in my other notebook what I do, my writing samples, or I do an excerpt from a book. I want to make it pretty. So at the moment, that ink that I'm using, it's the new ink from the Iroshizuku line. I think it's a new ink. It's called Rika. And I got it off Desk Bandit, and I like the color of it. I'm not a blue person, but I wanted a blue to go with that pen. And it did say new, so I'm not sure if it's new to Iroshizuku itself or if it's just new on the Desk Bandit's website. However, I'm really chuffed with it because it does match the body of the pen really lovely. That's Ravenclaw, which is part of the Alamy All-Star collab with Harry Potter, and that is the 4 houses of Harry Potter. If you want to watch that video, go give it some love. That's where I sort of talk about the 4 pens, completing the collection, just what inks I've inked them up with, and and just a bit of generic information on those 4 pens. Now, the top ink on the page is my Soft Snow of Ohara, which is a Kyo-Iro ink, and I have been using that in my Hobonichi for the month of August, and it is inked up in my TWSBI Mini Black, and I found it to be a little bit dry, and usually that ink isn't dry, so I don't know if it's my Mini, TWSBI Mini, that's the problem. The second ink is my Azurite, Lamy Azurite, and that one I bought a bottle of. I've got a bottle of Kyo-Iro Soft Snow of Ohara, and I really love those 2 inks. The Azurite is in my Pilot Explorer with a medium nib, and I tell you what, that Pilot Explorer with those nibs write so well. I must admit that all my Pilot pens I love, and they write really well. I use mediums because I find them quite fine, and then in my other pens I usually go for fines, especially in the TWSBI. That third ink is one from the Diamond Inkvent 24. It's Chilly Nights, and it's in my Benubrio Blue Ice. That has a medium nib, that Blue Ice, and it's a bit of a juicy nib. And that writes really well with the Chilly Nights because that ink is a bit shimmerish. Now, I'm writing with my TWSBI and Bronze and Indigo. That is another Diamond ink. It's Snow Globe. And obviously, these Diamond Inkvent inks will last me for forever and a day. So I'm really enjoying TWSBI Eco's some pens that I said that I would never like because of the aesthetic of them. But what I really love about them is the ease that you can actually clean them, and just I like that noise they make when you uncap them and cap them. Now, for some reason, I had a hard start with my other TWSBI, the Onyx and Irish Green. That's my Butterfly Dream, another of my favourite inks from Troublemaker. Now I've got a bottle of that too. And that's weird that it had a hard start. Usually it's fine. I find that TWSBIs, even with the fine nibs, they write really well with shimmer inks, and that's a shimmer ink. So is Snow Globe. But so I'm enjoying buying the TWSBIs that have got the different coloured hardwares, as opposed to the silver hardware. I'm a sucker for different coloured hardware, and I'm really enjoying that about the Lamy All Stars that are from the Harry Potter collection. The fact of the matter is that they do have the clips that match the colour of the body, and I love that. So yes, I'm just trying to be really mindful and try and be neat and tidy in my new notebooks. That's my lovely Narwhal Horizon. This writes like a dream too. It's got like a size 6 nib, and it's powder coated, and I love that it's got the different hardware. And it's got kind of like the band there at the bottom of the cap is like a cutout, and it's really, really pretty. I love narwhals. I've had a really great experience with them. The only one that I don't like is the original one that I have, the lavender one. I'll insert a picture here, just because it is a vacuum filler, and I have not had luck with vacuum fillers. I do also have another pen that's a vacuum filler, and I just can't. It's called Original Plus Lavender, and I just can't seem to be successful with them. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I can't fill them properly, and then I can't write with them properly. And I know you have to kind of open the bottom of them, but then they dry out. So anyway, I've got the Mahjong one, that's right. So in this pen, I've got my other Lamy crystal ink, which is Peridot Green. I love that ink. It writes super well. and I've got a bottle of that too. So I have been really good with my ink purchases. I only purchase inks that I really, really love, and I will get samples of everything else. I refuse to buy a bottle of ink, just random ink, without having even tested it or, got a sample of it or done a writing sample. Because, I mean, the colours of the inks online can be a little bit deceiving. And also, I don't want to spend money on bottles of inks that I don't use. I've done that already. I've got like 3 bottles of ink that I don't, or maybe 4, that I don't really use because some I just don't like the colours, and I was assuming that they would be a certain way, but they weren't. So I'm just really mindful nowadays. So I'll buy bottles of inks that I really love, or that I might think that I really like, but they're going to go, maybe out of, I was going to say out of print, but, they might get rid of them, or there might be special limited edition inks. And if I really like them, then I might get the bottle. But I don't want to have lots of inks because it takes you forever to get through a bottle of ink anyway. And I've had bad experiences with the Robert Oster inks. I had 2, and they were 2 of my very first bottled inks from Robert Oster, the Avocado and Viola, and they both turned colour on me. The other bottles that I've had for a long time haven't, but those 2 did. So this is my Slytherin, again from the Harry Potter collection. It is paired with this beautiful ink from Ferris Wheel Press called Tinseltown Tuned, or Tunes of Tinseltown, I should say. It is a bit of a, a shimmer ink. And I'm really chuffed with the inks that I selected this time round to go to match up with my Lamy All Stars Harry Potter collection. And if you want to watch that video again, I talk you through, the colours that I selected, and that it was quite random, to be honest, that I did manage to select the colours to match so perfectly. I'm such a matchy girl. My brain sort of doesn't function if I have like a completely weird colour in a pen, and that colour doesn't match either the body of the pen or some colour that's on the pen, or that it complements the colour of the pen. So this is my Gryffindor, and this is another Ferris Wheel Press ink that I got. It's called Crossing Lanterns, and it's a lovely terracotta orangey reddy colour. Again, it's got a little bit of shimmer in it, and I mean, I'm having success with the Lamies writing with shimmer. I usually don't have a lot of success. This one's got a 1.1 nib. The other ones all have fine nibs on them, and I'm really enjoying writing with this ink and pen combination. Well, all of my Lamies are writing really well. There's only one that had a really scratchy nib, so I had to change it out, and now my Vista's got that scratchy nib on, and yeah, I've got the micro mesh to it, but I just want to be really careful because the amount of bloody nibs that I've ruined with the micro mesh is it's way too many. And the amount of money that I've wasted, especially for buying the cursive mediums on the Preras, the Pilot Preras, is, a lot. So this is another pen that I really, really love writing with. This is my TWSBI Aluminium Sunset. This is a medium nib, and I love the way this writes. This is the ink from Pen BBS that I originally bought when I first got this pen. And I love the colour of it. The thing is that it's just because it's orangey, it will write a little bit drier. But this medium is a gem to write with in this pen, and I absolutely love playing with it and writing with it. And I've just been rotating all these orange inks that I've purchased. For some reason, I'm just in love with oranges. I'm in love with terracotta pinkies, terracotta reddies, that kind of thing. I also did buy a bottle of Troublemaker Basilica Red because I just love an orangey terracotta. Oh yeah, this is my new book where I've just doing transcribing things in there just to pass the time. And this is my ink journal. So they're both notebooks from Hobonichi. This notebook here I bought a couple of years back and just started it this year. And the other notebook I got with last year's haul, and I just started it. So I've got one that's my ink journal, and one is where I, do my writing samples, my transcriptions and stuff like that. Let me just tidy up this desk. It's a mess with all these pens everywhere. And again, as you can see, my pen case, I like to sort of have all the colours matching. Yes, I know. It's a bit of an obsession with me, having the colours that match, because I like to have, I'm a Virgo, I guess, so I'm a bit anal retentive about certain things. This is my beautiful brown orchid. I love this pen. I did originally buy it with a broad nib, but I didn't like the broad nib, so I bought 2 new nibs for it. I got a medium, size 5 medium for this, and a size 5 medium for my Brio. And because my Brio I bought with a fine, and when I first started with fountain pens, that was one of my first pens, and I didn't really like writing with a fine. It was too scratchy for me, so I got the mediums to go on these 2 pens, and this one writes like a dream. My Benu Brio, it's a little bit more of a wet writer, so not as happy with that nib as I am with this nib. And I have the Van Diemen's Leatherwood Honey in my brown orchid. I think they're a pair made in heaven, a match made in heaven. And in the other pen, I had Pen BBS Emperor Qinlang or something like that, 441. Now this one is another ink from Ferris Wheel Press called Age of Aorum, and it goes in my Hufflepuff, and it's just like the perfect match. It's just so amazing. Now this is my lovely Pilot Matte Goldie, I call it. It's actually zigzag because it's got the pattern around the band around the cap, and I pair it with Kino Alto Yamabui Kiro. I love this pairing. I've tried this ink in other pens, but the way it shades and writes in the Pilot Matte has got no match, and so this is a bonded pair for me. I always kind of have it inked up. Just recently inked up my little Esterbrook SD Junior here, Palm Green, and I've got Colorverse Brain, Brane, I think, and that's a shimmer ink, and this actually really glides. This is a really nice lubricated ink, and it writes super well in this pen, and I think they're a super awesome match as well. Now this is my Espresso Martini. This is a Just Turnings pen. I love it. And in this I've got a Ferris Wheel Press Curious Woods. I just had to flick back because I couldn't remember the name of the ink. And I've got a Kersey's Smooth Italic nib on this one, which I purchased from Galen Leather. I love me a Cursive Smooth Italic, and it's such a shame that we don't have a Nibmeister here to be able to actually grind our pens, so I have to buy them, and they're phenomenally expensive to get, and especially from Galen Leather. It's a size 6 nib. Now this one here is a TWSBI espresso with bronze hardware, and I've got Oyster Hour in here. I've got a little bit of a mixture of Oyster Hour and another ink in there that I had, I think Majestic Maple. There's just a little bit left, and then I added the Oyster Hour in there. That's my second sample that I've got from Ferris Wheel Press. I must admit it is a little bit pale, but that's okay. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video and me showing you behind the scenes, so to speak, of how I use my fountain pens. And thanks for watching and hanging out with me, for liking, for subscribing, and let me know in the comment sections below if you have any special ways that you actually fountain pen, and other than just doing those sort of things that we all do with them, do you have a special thing that you do that brings you joy that you haven't seen other people share or talk about? I'd like to know. I'm curious. So anyway, again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. It's been a long one, and until my next one, ciao Lily.